We're live.
We're live. Well, welcome to a late night edition of TDS Live, BYU Postgame Show. Nathan and Seth here, hanging out. We just got off the head coach Jeff Scott Zoom postgame press conference. Lots to talk about, lots to discuss. Man, that second half was pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of laid out a plan at halftime of this is what you'd hope to have happen, and that's kind of exactly how it went down. I said, hey, maybe you go down, put a little pressure on them, score your first drive, and see what happens. And they did. And they did quite a game. I thought I was a little worried at the beginning of the game, but with Timmy, but I thought he really settled into the game in the second half, played great. I did think it looked like they simplified some things for him. It was a lot of run and then a lot of like in breaking quick, he looked like he was making a one decision and go and one decision and throw. And we even saw him drop it down to the back really quick, like we talked about at halftime.
Yep.
So I thought I was really happy with his progress throughout the game. And then from last week, I thought he didn't play his best game. And I think this is, I mean, it's obvious, but his best game he's played in his college career by a good margin. He was really good tonight.
What was really stood out, he was 10 for 11 in the second half, and that one incompletion could have been a touchdown to Xavier Weaver in the end zone. He was decisive, quick, and smart with his decision-making, and his final throw of the night was that 17-yard laser to Weaver to get the Bulls down to the 1-yard line to kind of punch it in to make it a one-score game late. Can't speak enough about what he was able to accomplish tonight and kind of propel the offense forward, and that's what you're hoping for. These first four games where we knew it was going to be a slog, it turned out to be, but I think we can both agree, and everyone listening, that they got better from game 1 to game 4. So now it's taking going from game 5 to game 8 to improve even further, right? And then this team, the end result here is the team that showed up at NC State is not going to be the team that shows up at UCF, and I think we're well on our way to that. We were a bit worried last week with the defense, how they performed in the second half against FAMU, and that showed its head. I think USF did the smart thing and kind of prolonging those second half drives just to keep BYU's offense off the field, and they did a really good job. I think all three scoring drives were long. I know two of them were. The second one was a 6-play 54-yarder for a touchdown that the Bulls kind of just chugged on right down the field, but a 14-play 75-yard drive to start the second half, taking up half of the third quarter, and then a 9-minute drive to cap off their offensive performance. Can't really ask for much other than not being down 21 at the end of the first quarter.
That would be helpful, I think. But I think we might have an unseen guest here. Wanted to jump in.
Hello, kids.
Welcome.
Hello, Senator Giggity. How are you?
Howdy. I'm good. I'm excited to be on this broadcast brought to you live by Irish 31.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely. Shout out to Irish 31 for sponsoring everything that we do.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the crown and kettle specials they have at all their locations across this great state.
Absolutely. Senator, your quick thoughts on tonight, the last 75% of that game.
Yes, that was, like I said on the Twitter sphere, that was the most encouraging game I've seen out of USF in almost at least half a decade. I mean, that was legitimately good football. I didn't agree with all the choices that were made, but I did enjoy the game.
How do you feel looking back at game 1 to now? How much progress do you think this team has made? Because we were just talking, it feels like they've gotten quite a bit better since that first game, and you feel pretty good that they're actually making progress this season.
Well, I mean, I think they made progress from the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed up, which was that's something. I saw some fight that, I mean, I make jokes. That's what I do because I'm used to dealing with the horrific existence that is being a USF fan. But no, I saw some really good football tonight at a USF, and I am damn proud of that. And that's the first time I've been able to say that in a while.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is the first loss of a score or less since Memphis, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds about right.
So November 7th of last year. So progress in the right direction, right? That's what we were hoping for. It would have been nice to steal one of these wins against NC State or BYU, but I think we're seeing that both of these teams are really, really good, and USF is not. They're getting better. I wouldn't even call them good yet. They still have got to figure out that defense. And Eric, as you mentioned, the onside kick. Yeah, you probably don't want to put your defense back out there. You want to try to at least steal it so you don't even have to worry about your defense. And, BYU was able to get a couple of first downs and salt the game away, salt the last 5 minutes of the game away because, USF had no timeouts left because they used them on offense. And that's an issue. I understand why you're calling those timeouts. You want to get the play right. And I'll tell you what, that touchdown for Xavier Weaver on the reverse after that second timeout was well worth it, I think.
I think on that the first kind of group of timeouts there, they were kind of caught off guard because you saw a referee see a guy legitimately throw a punch and then throw a flag, right? That was the same sequence, right? And then they got the play in late and had to call a timeout after it looked like they were about to get a first down. And then you come back and you get the play in late because you're thinking, all right, there's a penalty and they wave it off. So there's something you could explain away with that one. And then the last one, you kind of, it looks like they really were just trying to review it and see if he got in. Some people think he may have got in, and if they had more angles, but they reviewed it and said he didn't. You get in the next play, but you kind of lose those two on kind of tough situations that not necessarily were totally within your control. But it would have been useful at the end. But I think it was. You need those. You scored off those timeouts, so I mean that's kind of the other side of it. So they didn't go to waste,
right?
You didn't waste them totally, but it would have been nice to have them at the end.
So I have a working theory.
Let's hear it.
That I've just come up with tonight. USF is a mogwai. You feed them after dark and they show the fuck up. So technically, USF's a gremlin.
So they're leaving the American for the Mountain West.
Yes. Well, yeah. But basically, we only play games after midnight, and I think we're good.
There you go.
I don't think my body can handle that. I'm struggling right now. I mean, it doesn't help that my kids got me sick this weekend, so I'm doubly on the struggle bus. I think I slept for like 3 hours this afternoon. Like I was just like, babe, I can't do anything. I am out. And
my body is a temple, and it's open 24/7.
Is it open for soaking, or is it just open?
Okay, are we gonna do the soaking thing?
I mean,
I want to talk about it because
you know what, better you than us. So go ahead.
I'll do it. I am an ordained minister in the Universal Life Church, so I have experience on which to speak of such batshit crazy things. So for the uninitiated, soaking is a practice in certain religious sects and sects, not sex, but also sex, that deals, apparently penetration is not sex. So you put it in and then you just sit there. So this is like putting a jet ski in a hot tub, in my opinion. Like, sure, it's in there. Is it fun? I mean, it could be, but apparently you can enlist a third party to jump up and down on whatever surface you've decided to penetrate said partner on, and so this is like the world's worst threesome. I don't get it. I mean, maybe if you're on a waterbed and get some shit done, but this doesn't make any goddamn sense. I'm sorry. Like, if you're gonna fuck, just fuck. Come on, let's try and be adults here, kids.
And that's soaking.
And that is soaking. So off the man. It's 2:13 Eastern here, Eric. I mean, you're lucky I have a shirt on still. At this point, you know,
I would say I'm unlucky you have a shirt on, but that's just me. I'm a big soaker. You know me.
To get back to the game somehow, Jaron Mangum, another really impressive game here. Yeah, he's RB1, and you saw why. You see Brian Batty, however you want to pronounce it. I've seen multiple USF personnel name it and call him Batty or Batty, depending on their time of day. So I think those two are probably your go-tos right now. They're really effective. Gosh, man, this thing is just off the rails.
Joyner had a couple nice runs tonight.
He did.
Felix did not travel. He's injured. We first heard this on Tuesday, I believe, and talked about it briefly on the live pod there. But I thought all the backs played pretty well, but Mangum does seem to be the guy. He goes well with McLean, I think. And I think the phrase you've been using, they've been using him as like his personal bodyguard. But they were
100%.
The first couple games, Mangum came in when McLean came in. I think it's because he's so good between the tackles, and McLean can do kind of his damage outside. So you get that mix with those two guys. And he's really good running that outside zone where he can just stick his foot in the ground and get vertical. I think he showed a lot, and he showed why he was kind of a really highly rated recruit coming out of high school and went to Colorado initially. He's a really good player. And then you have some guys at the receivers positions that can play, and they were able to get the ball to him a little bit more tonight than they had been in the first three games. So you saw kind of a full complement of the skill position talent they have. Hopefully they can continue getting the ball to those guys in space and letting them go to work.
So, quick question.
Absolutely.
Is there a way we can start recruiting from the Romney family? That seems like a tree that bears a lot of fruit.
They seem pretty good. There's no soaking going on in that pit.
I know, yeah, no, that's a lot.
There's a lot of kids. There's a lot.
Yeah, that's the real deal. There's one more Romney, from what I understand.
Bit, right?
Yeah. In my opinion, there are too many fucking Romneys.
Well, there's also that.
They played pretty well against USF.
That is true. Baylor and Gunner definitely have a connection. That brother-to-brother connection is unparalleled. We saw it in hockey with the Sundins for years. It's just one of those things. And I think USF head coach Jeff Scott said tonight in the post-game presser they had prepared for Jaron Hall to start, and then they started hearing some stuff yesterday that maybe he wasn't, and Baylor was going to get the start. I don't think it changed their game plan too much. I think they were still going to make them complete passes downfield. It just the one thing Baylor Romney is very good at, it seems, throughout his collegiate career, is he is accurate as all get out with the ball, and he did it again tonight. He finished 20 of 25 for 305 yards, 3 scores, and just never really felt uncomfortable. Knew where he wanted to go with the ball, had plenty of time, and that kind of lends itself to what, Eric, you're kind of getting at here. The defense was not ideal, even though it seems like USF, they stopped them on two possessions in the second half, I guess, or at least one before the final wind out of the clock. But they got down to the 5-yard line, and just, a field goal block. You can't count on that. BYU still averaged a little over 8 yards play in the second half, which was down from 9.2 in the first half. So there's still issues to be sorted out. That's for sure. We're not saying that this thing's perfect. The defense has been kind of hit really hard with the injury bug. They had 2 corners, and then one of them got hurt, so they were throwing out a true freshman, Jalen Herring, out there tonight. So, until these guys get healthy, reserve judgment, I guess, but the defensive line didn't create too much push. Defense as a whole had 1 tackle for loss, which is less than ideal.
Yeah, the problem, right? I think a lot of people, when we call our friend Colin Sherwin even asked on Twitter, why play any type of man? Why not just play zone the whole time? Well, they did some of that, and then when they did that, they did not get any pressure whatsoever on the quarterback. BYU can do that because they've got 3 dudes at defensive line that can get pressure. They can get pressure with 3 and drop 8. They can still collapse the pocket and make it hard on the quarterback. When USF went zone, Romney had all day to throw, and he could just drop it in over the top of people. And then a couple of times they went zone, and the safeties bit up on the run fake because when you play zone, safeties have to come up and play run. That's part of, their eyes are top down, so they have to come up and play run. So you see a safety bite on a run fake, and you get a shot over the top. So the second half, they played a lot of zone, and you still got shots over the top because those guys have to be involved in stopping the run. So there's not a lot of great options when Jeff Scott said this after the game. Your option is you bring more guys down in the box to stop the run, and then you make them make the one-on-one throws, and they made those throws. Receivers beat the one-on-one coverage. The quarterback made really accurate throws down the field. They won the one-on-one matchups. That's all you can do. You can try to just drop back the whole game, but they're going to run the ball down your throat, get down in the red zone. You can't play zone in the red zone. So that last drive, they went basically USF played zone. BYU went all the way down the field. Get inside the 5. You have to play man. You can't really play zone down there. Stop them, block a field goal. So it's you're just not a lot of great options when the offense is good and the quarterback can make accurate throws, especially when you can't get pressure with your front. It makes it tough. Hopefully they play some teams where you can get some more pressure with your front and bring in a couple extra guys and not having to bring a ton to get pressure. That will help a ton. But tonight it was a tough matchup.
Yeah, it seemed like, even when USF did bring pressure and it nearly got home in the first half, they just seemed stiff around the quarterback. I recall Baylor just kind of sidestepping a would-be tackler and then just kind of running around and then gaining 15 yards on a run. It just the front 7 seems stiff still. I don't think that's anything that can kind of get fixed this year. Maybe a little bit better, discipline. But, I mean, they still feel a little stiff. I think this is going to be a situation where you got to recruit out of the problem instead of kind of figuring it out with the guys on the roster right now. There's still a lot of young, talented guys on the roster, but the guys playing right now seem just a little stiff when it comes to the pass rush.
Yeah, and there were guys in position to make plays. You just got to tackle. That's kind of was part of the issue, but I'd say, overall, it was just going to be a tough matchup regardless of how you played it. They were big enough to run the ball, and the quarterback, even though he was a backup, was a good decision maker, made accurate throws. I think we've got somebody else joining us here. Welcome.
Lauren Pickle. How you doing?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah. God. What's going on?
Oh, what's up, party voice? Tara Reid checking in.
I'm sad. No, hi. I'm sorry. I'm in the hotel.
Oh, you're already back? You're already back to the hotel? How close is the hotel from the stadium?
We walked 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was an incredible atmosphere. It was awesome.
Were they as kind to you when the game got close as they were when they were blowing us out?
Honestly, kinda, yeah.
God, man.
Literally, we were leaving too, and they were just hope you guys had a great trip. If you guys need it, and we were all thank you.
God, they're the worst. I hate that.
Yeah, how dare they be nice? What a bunch of assholes.
Sons of bitches, man.
Did you encounter any soaking?
Any what?
Soaking.
All right.
Oh, you haven't been on the Twitters today, have you?
Hmm.
You'll catch up. Don't worry. Don't answer that. It's better. It's better.
Sulking, like
Soaking.
SULK.
Okay.
No.
So
Nope.
what should I?
No.
We're good.
Well, I think once per live stream is the rule.
Yeah. Well, Pickle, when you re-listen to this, you'll hear the first part, and you'll be horrified that you jumped on here.
Oh God. So picks. The ice cream, was it as good as advertised?
It is so good. Honestly, we got the ice cream and we started playing much better. So I think it's magic. We got it at the end of the first quarter.
They got fed after midnight. I'm telling you, this is a working theory. goddammit.
It wasn't midnight here.
Well, the Eastern time is God's time.
Enough. It really is.
What about body clock?
It was really good. It was from the BYU Creamery, and it was like a really good portion of it. It was delicious.
I'm not going to let BYU Creamery just sail past me. I'm sorry.
I hear you. I get it. Oh man. So Pickle, are you the more enthused, less enthused? How, you were there live. There's a gamut of emotions that we haven't felt in a close game in a really long time. How are you feeling? How are you processing this?
So in the beginning, obviously after the first quarter, we were like, well, we're here. We're going to make the most of it. This is great. And then all of a sudden you started to see some momentum. People started like looking around in our section. And we were like, wait a second, what's happening here? And then everybody just got really pumped, especially when we blocked the field goal. Everyone was like, wait a second, what's happening? And then I think it was like, it was very surreal feeling because we were like, wait, is this a game? Like, are we in it? Because we were down by 21-0 and we were just like, oh, okay, well, we're making a good trip out of it. But then it turned into a game, and you could see all around us, like the BYU fans being like, oh, this could be bad.
Well, what was the consensus after the game? Did people feel, even though it was a loss, did people feel really positive about it?
Yeah, definitely. People love Timmy. Love. And I feel like I can never say his name right. Jaron Mangum.
Mangum.
Love him. Everyone was like super positive about Timmy though. They were just like, this is the guy. It was so cool to just watch him work on the field because it was very loud. It was very, very, very loud. I looked up the capacity. It's like 63,000 and it was full. Like, it was absolutely insane. We had like a little section of like maybe 150 people, maybe. And it was just cool to watch him and talking to his team and being super calm, and the hand signal worked really well for them. So I think that was, I can't even, is he 18? I just can't even believe it.
Yeah.
I don't have that composure, and I'm screaming towards 40. So
yeah, he looked, and it was kind of funny because we saw them go into the tunnel obviously at halftime, and they just kind of looked like they came out at halftime. They kind of just like, I don't know if they were focused or locked in, or they just like, they kind of looked like they didn't really like, I don't know. There wasn't like a buzz, and then you started kind of seeing it happen towards the end of the third.
Yeah, and it was something that we kind of harped on all week, cashing in on those red zone opportunities. BYU was able to do that, and then as you mentioned, that block field goal in the second half, kind of turned things around, right? You get a stop in the red zone, you build some momentum, you go down and score, and then I don't think I felt like this in a long time, where if USF had gotten that stop with 4-3, however many minutes left, I have no doubts that USF is going back down there and scoring, and it comes down to the 2-point conversion to if we're going to overtime or not. I haven't felt that in a long time. Maybe I'm just rose-colored glasses right now because it was a fun second half, but I really felt like USF was going to go back down and score again.
No,
Yeah.
I'm with you there. What was the game that they uncorked Q?
Syracuse 2015.
That I'm not gonna lie to you. That block kick tonight, or that block, whatever it was, that had that same kind of feeling to me, like that momentum shift. Like we got the big mo a little bit. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of back on board, and I'm a cynical bastard, but that made me smile. I was excited to see that.
Yep, absolutely. And Seth, you've talked about it a bunch. Those close losses last year at Temple, at Memphis, they came back the next week and just laid a dud. What will USF have to do to avoid the same fate next week at SMU?
If I'll be super cliche and say it starts at practice. I think you kind of don't ride too high off this. You still lost the game, but you got to see them carry that momentum over. I don't think they really did that from the Florida second half to the FAMU game. I thought they came out kind of lax a little bit and weren't super sharp in that game. So hopefully they learn from that experience of coming into the FAMU game, but against a lesser opponent and not playing real well. But they got a tough one again on the road, and sometimes going on the road helps you focus a little bit because there's not a lot of distractions. You're just there to play. So they got to go, I think, on the road next week to SMU, right? That's going to be another tough game. So, it's going to be a quick turnaround for them, but I think maybe that experience of what happened in the Florida game to the FAMU game hopefully was a learning experience for them, and they can use it in this next stretch here.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, any final thoughts? I'm dying over here, so I need to write this story and go to sleep.
I will, for the faithful that are listening, all two of us. If you don't have room on your credit cards in the next week or so, you might want to make some. There may or may not be a home field advantage to doing so. I'm not authorized to necessarily say that, but I said it. So basically, if you have a bunch of money, or if you have room on your credit card, make more, because you're going to buy a bunch of shit here in the next week.
Agreed. And that is all we're legally allowed to say.
I like it. I would like to say, if you guys ever want to come to Utah, I highly recommend.
I'm good.
Yeah.
There's beer here. Okay, I got drunk the other night.
That just makes it worse.
How far out of the city did you have to go?
Not far. There's a brewery like 15, 20 minutes, and then there's a bar in town.
Yeah, there's a brewery like 2-3 states away. It's fine.
Interesting note to kind of just with regards to the game to kind of end here. So USF scores on 5 of their last 6 drives. 13-play drive, 12-play drive. They go 3 and out, and then a 14-play drive, a 6-play drive, and a 19-play drive. So that was all. Those were the 6 drives following the fumble. So really good bounce back for them, and they kind of really took control of the game with those long drives. So that was good to see. I think you got to feel pretty positive heading in. Hopefully they can keep it going.
Absolutely. For Nathan, Seth, Senator Giggity, and Lauren Pickle reporting live from Provo, Utah. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging around until 2:32 Eastern. Go get some sleep, and we'll do this all again next week. Just a lot earlier, for the love of God.